Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the Modern Day Morons podcast. We're your host, Liam.
Braden.
Jacob.
Right on.
Wow.
Right on.
Day 44 in a row of not ever missing a podcast.
Never
crazy.
Never miss a podcast, and we never screw up the intro. Never
and
once.
we didn't take a 9-week hiatus as a winter break that started in November and resumed mid-January.
That didn't
We've
happen.
actually only been doing this for 6.5 weeks now, straight every day.
Yep.
Just every day.
Mm-hmm. And that's we're only live for about an hour, but there's 4 or 5 hours of prep time beforehand that you find folks out there don't see.
I mean, we actually have to go to Norway to take this picture every day. It's slightly different. Different.
Changes just a little bit every day. Same thing.
We move about a foot up the road every time.
Just building this massive set that we have here that looks like 3 different areas with their own lighting is that was an undertaking in and of itself. So
yeah,
it's been a long.
It's not in Norway. We have to travel to Norway every day. It's
live in Canada. Honestly, bad choice too. We know someone who does live in Norway. We could just ask him, but no, we are overachievers here at the Modern Day Morons.
Yeah, it's the price we pay, but at least we make lots of money and get lots of views. The dream.
Yep.
Shout out. Well, I think we kicked this one off with a classic segment of Bear of the Week.
Bear of the Week.
Braden has written a little jingle for us, so I will solo him and then switch over to the title card once we get started.
All right. We ready? All right. I fucked up already. Not a bad start. Welcome to the show within another show, telling you folks what you really want to know. Giving a feature on your favorite creature. They can be scary, hairy, maybe sleek. Welcome to the Bear of the Week.
Bear of the Week.
Bear of the Week.
Bear of the Week. Let's fucking go.
I did not play the right chords for like half of that, even though I just wrote this in practice once. So.
Well, we wouldn't have known if you hadn't have said so. How's that?
It makes me feel even dumber.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh, he's big. He's thick.
That's a bear of like 2 weeks, to be honest.
That bear is 82 weeks pregnant.
Dude, that's a feat. How much do you think that bear weighs?
400.
Only?
I mean, that's no Hank the Tank, and Hank the Tank was a 500 pound. Maybe,
I don't know.
No way, that's 400 pounds.
That's
dude.
not a 400. That's
that guy. That's Hank the Tank right there.
That's
Part 2.
That's crazy. Wow, what a large bear. That bear looks like it runs on nothing but like McDonald's fucking all day, every day. Yeah.
How does the bear get that fat though? Like if they're in like a zoo or something.
It was in captivity, so like I don't know.
Do they just keep feeding?
I guess.
I was gonna guess that maybe they he just likes to take from people's picnic baskets like Yogi, but
what if he's just actually a really good hunter and just catches like 6 birds a day?
I mean, it might be one of those scenarios where like he was breaking into houses eating all the food, so they moved him into captivity, and this is recent. But yeah, no, that's
it does make me wonder, like with something that size, right? Like we've got like sleep darts and stuff, but like when you get to like elephant sizes, like that, if you have to move a fucking elephant, dude, like how would you even? You'd have to hit that bitch with enough narcotics to like make a police department happy.
Also, you can't even like forklift it because the forklift would just like go through it.
I don't know how you'd have to move that. Like, would you like? Can you lift that with a helicopter?
Probably helicopter.
Yeah, because helicopters can't they lift like tanks or something?
Some of them, like a Chinook can.
A light utility helicopter can lift anywhere between 1,200 and 4,000 pounds. A helicopter that's specially designed to lift heavy objects can lift as much as 44,000 pounds.
How heavy is an elephant? Like the biggest elephants are 6,000 kilograms, which is what, like 8,000 pounds?
No, it's over 12,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And no, it is 13,022 pounds. Yeah,
which is over 12,000.
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah, that's okay. So helicopters, I guess.
I think elephants
You'd
are
have to
pretty docile, so like you can just like walk them to where they need to go.
Hey, bro, we got to go this way. Yeah, but I don't know. Let me see. I'm just gonna Google helicopter lifting elephant and see if it shows up. See if there's a picture. Yep.
God damn it. Of course there is.
Let me see.
Is that real, dude? That looks so fake. Oh, it's a statue. It's a statue of one from Disneyland. Though, there is pictures. Yeah, that one. There is other images of like rhinos being lifted by a helicopter. They like fucking hog tie it and lift it from its feet.
There's pictures from Rwanda in April 2012 of an elephant being transported.
Dude,
helicopter.
This is crazy.
Also, apparently India had helicopters that looked like elephants. So basically my question is, when are we doing Elephant of the Week?
When on the MDM2 podcast. Speaking of helicopters and airlifting, you guys probably have seen this video, but if you haven't, it's one of my favorites. An old elderly lady got injured and they had to airlift her to a hospital.
Oh man.
Oh, is this the one? Woo! Love this video.
Fucking Beyblader, dude. Like,
let it rip.
They must have got sued, right?
You'd hope so.
Like, there's no fucking way. But like, at the same time, what can you like? How do you stop that from happening?
I don't even like,
because I haven't taken any physics courses, but I feel like it's just one fucking dangly cord.
Definitely passed up by now. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it's like
that poor old lady.
I feel like you just like bring her up as fast as possible, so she's not
the
like.
The goal isn't to like bring her up, you know. Like they don't bring her to the helicopter.
Oh,
they
right.
Fly away, like with them dangling.
I guess you just start like flying. I don't even.
The problem wouldn't happen if it was more than just one straight cord going down, right? Like if they had two intersecting at like a connector, that would stop them from spinning entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't, as someone who's not a physicist, I don't really understand how that happens. Like, is that based on angular momentum? Did they fuck up chords or something? I don't really know.
Like, I think it's like, it was literally like with the swing, where it's like when you sit on a swing and you turn the cord, like the seat all the way around, and then you sit, and when it released, it'd spin.
Right.
But then it had so much momentum that it would spin back the other way. And then, like, that's what I presume happens. But I don't know what, like, starts that off. It seemed like once it got up to, like, the helicopter blade, so it's almost, I'm thinking, like, the downwind of the helicopter. Like, the wind it's pushing down, kind of like, if it was at an angle or at all, kind of just spinned it like a propeller. But that is unfortunate.
Yeah, either way, it seems like a complete fucking nightmare to go through.
They lived. Mm-hmm. Imagine though, you're like, oh, thank God, the ambulance people got to me. I'm okay. I'm safe. And then they just fucking spin you.
Dude, and that would be like insane because like the further back you are from centripetal force, like the less you feel it. And when you're right in the center, like going that fast, man, that would be like all the blood would be like literally flowing to your brain.
Yeah, would not be a fan of that at all.
Yeah, I suspect they passed out pretty quick, but damn.
Yeah, that is a classic video though of the internet.
Yeah, that one was legendary. Those people need to really learn how to do their job. Speaking of learning how to do your job, Jacob, how's the new job going?
Fucking incredible segue, Liam, by the way.
It's good, honestly. It's kind of exhausting in a sense because I haven't worked in construction in like over a year. And before that, my job was sitting here playing video games. So, you know, a little different in terms of the labor aspect.
Slight change of pace, yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's really cool. I work on a mansion currently. I mean, I say it's a mansion. It's just a very big fancy house. And you know, I'm not one thing you either learn really fast is you either are or aren't afraid of heights. And I'm not like so fond of heights when you've got no level of safety. Like I don't know if it's so much the heights or the fact that like there is a real risk because you're working on the roof of a house, or like we're working on like the top wall of a house right under where the roof would be. So I'm up like, I don't know, at least 25 feet on scaffolding, and I'm leaning my body against the building and like hammering stuff. But the scaffolding I'm on is about 18 inches away from the building. So let's say the side of the building is wet. I put one hand there and I slip. There is 18 inches of clearance for me to fall 25 feet down. I've got like nothing to stop me if that happens, which I don't really like. But you know, it's got to be done, and it's almost done. So most of like the sketchy shit is over with, I think. But yeah, it's a cool job. It's cool.
Nice.
It's interesting to be back in construction.
Are you working with like the
lugging a lot
other
of heavy
new
shit.
hire, like the other guy they hired from the school? So do they have you guys doing most of the same stuff?
Well, we're all working on building this house together. So like there's a bunch of like the way it normally works is we all basically tackle a task together unless like it's small things. But right now we're putting in windows. So we had like 5 people up on scaffolding, and we just had like a chain of people passing this 500-pound window up 20 feet into a hole in the wall and then stand there and hold it in. You kind of need all hands on deck for that.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's stuff just like preparing the roof or like the ceiling for drywall, we all kind of just split up and do what needs to be done.
Do you have like a strap for the window, or are you guys just freehanding it all the way up?
No. It was just 2 people on the bottom, hoisted up to the next set of scaffolding, and then 2 people there, hoisted up. It's it's construction is not for the weak or the smart.
Mm-hmm. Wimmis would not be happy with this.
Not overly, but it's a good job, and you know the people are good, the company seems good, and it's good experience for sure. I'm excited to get to like the finish work aspect, like the staying inside the building, not on the roof kind of thing.
That tracks, yeah.
But yeah, I don't much care for heights. I don't think any human brain is like, yeah, this feels good. This looking down here at an imminent pain if I fall doesn't really make me happy. I think I'm the same.
Jacob, when you gave like you're talking about the windows, for some reason the only thing I imagined was this video that you've probably seen.
Oh God. Oh fuck. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. I saw one actually yesterday of like a crane hoisting a window on like a skyscraper, and then it just smashed into one of the other windows and both pieces of glass broke.
Yeah. Yeah, windows seem like
windows are not.
Oh God! Watch out!
It's like rain and glass too.
Ooh.
See, the thing is, they are working at height and they don't really have safety. They had vests on, but like, you know, when you're standing at like a ledge and you're like, oh, that's just a straight fall down. If I slip, it's weird because standing here in the center of this room, I'm like, my feet are sturdy. There's no possible way I would fall or drop anything except for like, you know, the odd accident. I could like pull my phone out and drop it. But like you feel stable and sturdy. But when you're standing on scaffolding, I mean, scaffolding's not like the sturdiest thing ever. It kind of wobbles. But when you're standing on scaffolding and you're like close to an edge, your feet are like, whoa, we've never stood before. It's like, come on, dude, you're making this hard for me. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, it'd be good to have a safety harness on. I feel like I'd feel untouchable if I had one on.
Yeah, goddamn.
Yeah. And I mean, too, you'll probably get used to it eventually if you're just working on scaffolding all the time. Eventually,
yeah.
Like, whatever.
But like that, when you get used to it is when you get hurt.
You know
because I mean? Once you stop worrying about your
Yeah.
safety,
Yeah.
then you know, get hit with a pain of falling.
Oh shit! Is that the one, the only Brotein Gaming?
Woo! My man.
Yeah, it's goofy as hell. It's like, brain, please. I know this is sturdy enough. Like, I'm standing right here, but the closer you walk to the edge, the more your feet are like, I don't know, dude. Are you sure you're sturdy? Because it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, it's like when you're like at the like cliffside or like at the Calgary Tower, for example. Like they have that part where it's just all glass floor, or the CN Tower is the same thing. You can walk on it, and people are like terrified to like walk on it. Like they'll just freeze, like they won't move once they get to the edge of it.
Yeah. Well, even like when I was a kid, I went to the CN Tower and I was like, I don't want to walk on that glass floor. Like, I understand that there's 6 other people standing on it, and it is definitely sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere if I walk on it, but I don't want to. My brain's like, there's no need. Like, what do you gain from walking on this? Worst case scenario, you fall and die. Best case scenario, you just don't step on it and nothing will happen.
See, weirdly, I'm the other way. I love doing weird. Like, I love like being up high and looking over edges, and like I love that feeling of the call to the void.
But do your feet feel sturdy? Like, if you stand on the edge of a cliff, are you like, my feet will keep me here for sure?
I try to tell myself that, but I get shaky in the knees.
Yeah, exactly. It's bogus, and like,
and that's the worst part, to have shaky legs.
Yeah,
that's like right where you don't want them.
Worse. Yeah.
And it's kind of lame because like the same thing happens with your hands. Like, I think for me, like, I'm not so much worried about dropping my hammer down 20 feet, except for the fact that if there's somebody down there that happens to walk under and they get hit with a fucking hammer, that's game.
No bueno.
But like, we installed windows on the first floor first. So when you're working at scaffolding kind of close to the building, it's like if you drop something, you might hit the finished material of this window, and then the window is damaged, and windows are very expensive and not easy to replace because they're all custom order windows.
And I imagine those are like high quality windows, like super like insulated and shit.
They're quite fancy windows. So, you know, if I drop my hammer while I'm 10 feet plus above it, I probably got to find a new job, safe to say, which is like, I can hold a fucking hammer, dude. It's got rubber handle. Like, it's not going to slip, but you're up there and you're like fucking white knuckling this hammer. Because if you drop it, that's a fucked window, basically. And if you drop yourself, well, that's even worse. Yeah, it's other than working on heights, the job is good. But I don't much care for working at heights without any level of I shouldn't say any level of safety. Like, we have like handrails set up all around on the backside of the scaffolding, but you're not working on the backside of the scaffolding. That's where, you know, like, it's great for walking around when you're just hanging out up there. But like, I hate leaning over a chasm and working. It's just,
it doesn't,
you know, one wrong step and could be
game over at that point.
Are there any like tasks you've gotten or are not worried to get, but just something you've done literally nothing of, and you're just like, well, I'm trying to figure it out on the fly? Or are you pretty well rounded?
I think I know a little bit of everything. Well, I shouldn't say everything, but I mean, I went to school for 2 years. Like, I got a good bit of experience, but a lot of construction is always figuring it out, because even if you build 10 houses, there's going to be something different on every house.
Yeah.
And whereas this one's a remodel of like 100-year-old house, well, I say it's more like a rebuild, because I'm pretty sure they knocked down like the whole building and they just left the floor basically. But there's always something new every time. Like, either you're working with a new material and you don't know how to treat it, or you know, you've just got a new angle that you have to work from. Because like, your scaffolding is handy as hell, but it's very big and bulky. Like, you can only fit it in certain places, right? So you might have to like wrap your arm around it and like lean over and just kind of like, there's always something that I've never done before, but
Is
you just kind
scaffolding
of have to work it out.
Is it like quick to set up? Like, if you have like 5 people doing it or however many at once, do you guys?
Yeah, it goes up quick. It goes up quick, but it's a lot of, well, it depends. There's a couple different systems with scaffolding. Like, you've got your basic scaffolding, and then you've got like this I think it's a newer kind of system. It's like pipe scaffolding. So it's like a modular system. And basically all it is like these big, probably 10-foot tall posts. And then you attach all these other like 7-foot extensions that clip onto the posts. It's kind of cool, but yeah, it does go up quick for sure.
So it's like Lego.
It's like very heavy steel Lego. Yeah.
Nice.
Is there like different staff? I don't know, different or a different procedure to set up based on like if this shit's going to be here for 2 weeks or if this shit's going to be here for half a day, kind of thing?
Mostly just with the footing of it, because it has to be level, kind of. But like if it's if you're only going up like one stage, it doesn't really matter. If you're going up like 20 feet, you definitely want it to be level, and you need to put it on some blocking. So it does depend, but for the most part, you just have to make it level, put it on some sturdy footings, and that's it. Go as high as you want. But like, the more, it depends on conditions, because it's got cross braces, scaffolding, and probably if it's very windy, you'd want to put on more, and secure it to the building as well, or whatever's around you. Like, we've got these metal pipes that you like screw into the building, and then you kind of like tie your scaffolding to it, basically, just to give you another point of balance if you're up high.
Okay, so like for uneven like terrain, let's say like it's a bit of a hill or something, does the piping or like the footing, does it like telescope at all to adjust, or do you have to add something on to adjust it?
So we have there's a couple different kinds. There's feet, like you've got feet that swivel. So basically the foot of a scaffolding, at least the ones that we use, it's like a big steel pipe, probably 18 inches, and it's all threaded, and it's just got a metal thing on it that you can thread up or down. But then there's also some scaffolding feet, like, so there's those with a regular flat steel base, and there's some that have like a swivel base. So if you're on a hill, you would have to like put down some 2x10 or something just on the slope of the hill, because you can't just put the foot of a scaffold on bare ground, because it'll sink when you put that much weight on it, kind of thing, eventually, if you put people up on the scaffolding. So you have to like disperse the weight, I don't know, physics shit onto like a 2x10, and then you'd probably just secure it somehow, nail it down, maybe.
Okay.
It's a lot of figuring it out. Construction is like, even if you know what you're doing, there's always a situation where it's like, I have no fucking clue how we're gonna do this. You just kind of do something, and eventually it'll happen. Like we installed a window 4 times on Friday.
Like the same window?
We just kept, no, I guess it was 3 times. We just kept running into problems, and you just kind of have to fix it. You like, it has to be good.
So if you have an issue, is it just like, do you have to send the window all the way back down and then try to fix it and then send it all the way back up?
Well, since we had the scaffolding set up, it's really like, it depends what your setup is. But for us, it was just like, so your window, we're working with like the windows we were installing were 7 foot tall and 6 feet wide. Like, these are big fucking windows.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Not something you want to fuck around with, and they're metal on the outside, so they're sharp as well, to a certain degree. So you don't want to fuck around with these, and they're heavy as hell. But basically, like, you've got your opening in the building, so we send the window up, put it in. If it doesn't fit, you can't change the window, so you have to change your opening. So either, you hit the shit out of it with a sledgehammer to get like an extra 1/4 inch here or there, or with one of the windows, basically how you install the window, at least the ones we're using, it's got this I think this is, a little different than normal, but it's got these metal nailing strips that stick out of the side into the building to like keep it in. But the opening that was framed in the house was a little too small. So we had to take a saw, and just where the metal strips were, we had to cut the frame of the window back like a quarter of an inch so that we could fit the window in and adjust it to be plumb with the window below it or like in line, because that's one, like, the main thing that matters is that a building is sturdy and that everything is level and plumb. So if your windows are like, if there's one here and then there's one here, like that's just not gonna fucking work. They're not gonna buy that house. So yeah, we had to like cut back the house a little bit to move the window over, but it worked out in the end. It's just a lot of fucking around.
Hot damn.
God damn. What's the is there one like job or section of like a house where it's like you have to be extra careful because the consequences of like fucking up this one job or this one thing are like the most time consuming to fix or expensive or just the biggest disaster if you fuck up like this job?
Well, it could be fucking anywhere. That like most things in a house are like that, because the thing is like somebody lives there. Like think of your house. If I guess the simplest answer would be windows and doors. Windows and doors are always a problem because that's a hole in your house. Like if your house ever leaks, it's either the roof or the windows or doors.
Right.
That's where water gets in because that's where holes are.
Mm-hmm.
Windows are really bad. Basically, the rule of thumb with a window is it will leak because it's going to leak. It's just a matter of how long and what you can do to postpone that from happening before it has to be fixed. And obviously, people want windows in houses, so you put a window in. But yeah, probably windows, because that's, if you don't install it right, then it won't operate correctly and it could leak. If you don't, otherwise I would say roof. Because roofs, I mean, there's so many fucking things that could go wrong with a roof.
So would you guys do the roofing too? Like the shingling and all that stuff?
We built, or the company I work with built the roof. I wasn't there. Okay. They built the roof, but I don't think I have to shingle it. I think they're hiring roofers.
Okay, I was going to say that
awesome, because I do not like doing roofing.
No, roofing's brutal.
You turn into like a lizard if you work on a roof.
Yeah, just literally baking close to the sun.
So what happens if you like fuck up, installing Mac instead of Windows?
Do it, Liam. Get him out of here.
Protein, you want to be the third member of the Modern Day Morons podcast? Yeah. The roofing is annoying as hell. I'm glad we don't have to shingle. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Like the thing is, most of it is human error. Like there's so many things that could go wrong, and when you add in height, that's another problem. I heard a story from one of my friends that I went to school with. He was building a house, and like Protein said, trusses are annoying AF. Trusses are also dangerous because they're one of the few things that you can't really be super safe about.
Okay. Trusses
basically being the roof frame, like the A design of your roof, or whatever they are. It's normally trusses are a factory made thing that you order. They're engineered products. You order them to your job site, and then they get crane lifted onto the roof because they're heavy as fuck. And unless you have a crane laying out every single truss, which you probably don't, you get a crane to lift them up there, and then you have to have people walking on the edge of a wall with like a 500-pound truss, and you just kind of like keep shifting them along.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
You could wear a harness probably and tie yourself to the truss so that if you fall, at least you suspend from that. But one of the guys I went to school with was saying he was laying out trusses, and his the building they were working on was very high ceilings, and a concrete floor. And one of the guys he was laying out with, like, you're moving this big ass object that doesn't want to move. So it's either you or the truss that's going to move. And this guy lost balance, fell to the floor. He lived, but he like immediately got knocked out. They had to call an ambulance, cracked his head. He had to get like a bunch of stitches. Like it was, trusses are one of those things. Construction just kind of sucks, to be honest. Like you don't want to be near just about anything. Concrete dust will kill you. Sawdust can give you cancer. Falling can kill you. Things falling above you, if you're working below somebody who's working at heights, can kill you.
That's actually something I've wondered. Like driving through the city, I mean, obviously, like, the whole city's pretty much getting torn down right now, or replaced, or built up with fucking gray condos. And you know, like I'll drive by a lot of construction sites in a day, especially in the summer. It's something I wonder because I'll be driving around with the windows down, you know, fucking having a good time, and then it's just like a smattering of like construction dust, whether it be sawdust or concrete dust or whatever, just wafts its way on into my car, and I'm like, that's probably gonna give me cancer at some point. Like this happens, like in the summer, that happens like multiple times a day.
Yeah, it's construction is just a bad place to be if you
want to live
a long, healthy life. Because like the best case scenario, your job doesn't kill you, which is great. I don't plan on dying.
Probably, yeah, good idea.
But you know, you have to go through a lot of fucking like, basically you're spending your body's well-being to earn money. It's like, to put it crudely, I'm like whoring out my body for somebody else's money. Except not like in that way, just at the expense of my...
In a more dangerous way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like best case scenario, you just have wear and tear on your muscles, which, you know, is fine. That's how you grow muscle. But, you know, it's a lot of soreness. Best case scenario, you come home from work sore, and, you know, you did a lot of lifting and working and stuff like that. Worst case scenario, you die.
Fucking die.
Now,
yeah.
But like that's pretty unlikely.
I have to ask, have you eaten lunch off of like a metal girder supported by a crane, and you and your coworkers are sitting on it?
No, we have no cranes on site. Actually, when we were like, it's a 2-story house. So the highest, like if we're not doing the shingling, the highest we'll be working at is probably about 25 feet up is where your feet are. So I was kind of hoping we would maybe have like a boom truck to lift the windows up to the second floor. Cause like I said, like these windows are fucking big and heavy, but no, we just had like this man-made system of passing a fucking window up, but it worked like a charm. Nobody got hurt. The window got installed safely. And that's the thing. Most of the time, as long as you kind of think things through in construction, and I mean, I have the right to refuse to do something is the nice thing. Like, obviously, I don't want to be that fucking guy, especially as the new intern. I don't want to be like, no, I'm not doing that. That's not safe.
Yeah.
There is like that level of social pressure to just, you know, do it. Because it's like, if we do this the safe way, if we go tie into the roof, get our harnesses on, tie in everybody separately because you can't tie in together, that's going to add another hour to the workday. Or you could try and, you know, be safe about hammering this shit for 5 minutes and then it's done. Yeah. So that's the way it normally is done is, you know, just be unsafe for a couple minutes here and the job's done. No worries. Or we do the safe way, adds time to the workday and get the job done. Mm-hmm. So it's a shitty situation, but overall the company's it's good. Like we're pretty safe. There are times where I wish I had my harness on, but at the same time, nothing ever went wrong, and like, you know, everybody else was doing it. That's the problem. I don't. Nobody else is like voicing. They're like, oh man, this is kind of like unnerving. I'm just sitting there on the scaffolding, like these guys are all leaning over, just hammering along or screwing along or measuring, and I'm just like, you guys seeing this? Like, that's some. I can fall. I can fit down there. You know, I could fall.
Now, does everybody have like a yellow hard hat on?
Nobody has hard hats on.
Ooh. Do you like own a hard hat?
Yeah, I have two.
Okay. Is that like something you brought along like in the truck, and then you just saw like no one else had one on, so you just like left it in the truck?
Yeah, that's one of those things. Yeah. Most of my tools I left in my truck, to be honest. There's company tools, and like I'm not gonna name the company. I don't mean to slander this company. Like I'm enjoying my time there. They are definitely craftsmen. Like it's a cool company to be with, but I think as with all construction, it does leave some area. There's always something that could be improved on, and the problem is that it's almost always fucking safety. Like it's almost always we don't follow safety procedures to a T because it takes too long.
And that, like you said, is probably most construction, if not all.
It's almost all. Like I think the only way you get into the crazy, like I think a company either is like, yes, safety is important, or they follow the procedures to a T. Like if I worked for a big company, which there are a lot of downsides to that, then you know if you see like those guys working on the high rises in our city, you know, it's just multi-stage concrete building going up like fucking 100 feet. Like those guys all definitely have harnesses on, and they've got like a safety rail built around the whole floor, and they're definitely tied in just because you have to. Like if you fall from there, there's no chance you live. If you fall from 20 feet, you could probably get out fine. Like you could probably get away without even breaking anything. But if you fall from like a high rise, you're done for. So they have to. I mean, I think you're supposed to. I should know this off the top of my head, but I think anything over like 8 feet, you have to have. Worker has the potential. Occupational health and safety laws generally require action when a worker has the potential to fall about 3 meters.
Yeah, so that's like 10 feet.
Yeah, anything above 10 feet, you're supposed to wear a full body harness and have
and nobody's doing
nobody, like, because there's no almost all construction is time and materials, not based on a full price per project. So the faster you get something done, the more profit the company earns, right? Because like they'll get paid for this building regardless, but if you can do 2 buildings in a year instead of 1 building in a year, there you go. There's double the profit kind of thing.
And that's also something where it's like if it was like a big government or military contract, you just take your time with kind of because like something that's like printing money and you get like paid just hourly, or like there'd be like no urgency. So it's like, yeah, we'll take 2 hours to harness in and out every day. But something where it's like a lot more like set, not so much deadline, but set budget or set deadline where it's like, we don't want to be 4 weeks over on this.
Well, yeah, no, because if you go like it basically, if you are past deadline, that's eating company money because the company is going to get paid $1 million to build this house. If it takes 20 weeks, we're getting away with profit and ahead of schedule. If it takes 30 weeks, that was 5 weeks unplanned for that we had to keep paying staff, you know, out of the earnings of that. So like you could come out in the negative if you don't get things done in time.
So
yeah, it's kind of
Protein said drywalling and mudding / tapping is just it's easy, not easy work, but gravy and safe. Is what is mudding / tapping? I'm unfamiliar with that.
I would be
taping. So a sheet of, you've seen like a sheet of plywood, I'm guessing at least.
Yeah.
8 by 4, 8 foot by 4 foot. Drywall, I'm pretty sure has the same measurements. The thing with drywall, have you ever patched a hole in drywall? Like a nail hole or anything?
I've seen it like with you mean like plaster, and then you just
Yeah.
yeah.
So mudding and taping is basically it's how you finish a wall because your 8x4 sheet is gonna have obviously your connections, like where your sheets meet. There's gonna be an obvious
Okay,
line, right?
right.
So you tape them over to basically create like the seamless wall, and then you mud it all. Um, I'm just looking around my room as if I'd see any.
So if
But
if you'd notice it, then it wasn't done correctly, basically.
basically, yeah, you're filling the seams between each sheet to create a wall to be painted. So yeah, you're basically just removing the visual aspect of imperfections on the wall.
Okay.
So yeah, you fill all the seams, and then you've got one whole wall unit instead of a bunch of 8x4 sheets just screwed onto the wall.
Okay. And then when you're like designing like the dimensions of like a room, like obviously you guys just build it after it's been designed, but is it designed so that way the sheets fit perfectly, or do you often have to like cut a sheet into a third
Oh,
or something?
you have to cut sheets up all the time.
Gotcha.
We haven't done any drywall. Like the house that I'm working in right now is basically still just stick framing. The house has been it's all been framed, and then we building wrap the whole thing, which is like you've probably seen Tyvek. It's like that white paper that they wrap buildings around.
Yeah.
So you have to like follow the correct procedure. So the building was framed, they built the roof. The building has building wrap on it. The roof has asphalt paper on it. Now we're installing windows. And then after we do all the windows, we'll probably do the doors. And then once all of that is tied in, we'll probably start doing the siding, which means we'll have to progressively work our way back up to height. And there's also like the roof has been finished framed, but it hasn't been the finish work isn't done. So this week when I got on, we were doing fascia board, which is basically like how do I describe it? So you've got your roof. Fuck, I'm bad at this. You've got your roof here, and there's all these shingles and shit. And then as where your shingles end, your roof now goes vertical for a little bit. That this is your fascia, and then it cuts back into your building, and you've got like your house. So we were doing like basically the finish work around the edge of the roof.
Okay.
And then there's also the part underneath, which is technically where your attic vents air in and out to keep your house or your roof from freezing. Yeah, there's so much to do. So the building is nowhere near done, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay. And that's just to get the outside done. And then we have to do all the work on the inside, which would include drywalling, installing doors and like interior doors, finished floor, bathroom fixtures, light fixtures. Well, that'll be the electricians.
But that's the fun stuff, right? That's the less dangerous stuff, right?
That's all the stuff where you're inside. You fall maybe 8 feet if you fall from the second floor to the first floor. No big deal.
Okay, and then one final question, and then we'll move on from the carpentry segment of today's episode.
There's always going to be carpentry shit to talk about.
We're gonna bring back Jacob's wood corner, or
this whole episode.
But one thing I've always wondered, because like I noticed it, like for example, like the Sobeys at Timberley, for example, they're building new buildings. Like, I'm guessing a gas station and maybe a liquor store or something. Yeah, but new stuff. Yeah. But my main thing is during like from start to finish the construction process. Is there any stage in that process where like bad weather can actually like fuck you up? Like if you like when you just get the stick up, the like framing up, if it rains for a week straight, does that mess with any of the integrity of the wood or the framing or anything if it's not covered? Or is that ever a concern like weather wise?
Not really. I mean, like the thing is wood always has water in it. Mm-hmm. And that's why your house like wood shrinks and expands with the weather. So your house creaks, your floors will creak, and shit like that. So the thing is with big projects like that, like the Sobeys or any big building is more so commercial construction, which practically doesn't have carpenters involved.
Okay.
I mean, it is carpentry involved, but it's almost all steel framing instead of wood framing. So carpenters still do steel framing, but it's not like what you'd imagine, I guess. The walls look identical. They're just made of fucking metal. So water doesn't really matter. Concrete gets stronger with water, so you're fine there.
Wait, what?
Really?
Well, like to make concrete, you've got your concrete mix, right? And then water comes added in, and that creates your concrete, and then
Of course, yeah.
it cures together. Water cures with concrete, so like if it rains, your concrete's going to be fine, but you need your concrete to dry.
Yeah.
Take care, bro.
See you later, bro. Dean.
Adios, man.
Thanks for showing up, man.
Take care. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, so not really. Like you would have a problem. You might be surprised, but drywall is susceptible to be hurt by water. But the thing is, like with a building, you follow the procedure of you build your walls, and then you basically don't touch anything until your roof is done. So you should be fine. Like if it's really windy, putting up walls, standing walls up vertically is a little troublesome, maybe, especially if you were working at heights. Like you'd have to be careful, because if you stand up a 20-foot wall and you're 100 feet up and the wind comes and blows your wall off the side of your building, you're gonna have some troubles. But for the most part, like the rush is to get your building watertight. But once you build a roof and you put plywood on your roof,
You don't have to worry about too much, eh?
water wicks away. You can, normally you stand up your walls, plywood your walls, and then do that until you're ready for the roof. And then you don't even touch the building until the roof's basically done.
So like, growing up, I'd hear a lot, any like little spill, or Lucy, my parents' dog, she'll pee when she sees people, right? So it's always been a big thing in my house of like, fucking, it's got to be cleaned up, right away. Otherwise there'll be water damage. I assume that's less of a structural issue than it is it just damages the look, right?
It's work.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So like, yeah, no, like, I mean, obviously if water gets in your like windows, for example, the way buildings are built, like under windows, you have a window sill, which is supposed to be angled. I think it's like, I don't know how you describe the angle, but it's about a 10-degree angle away, or a 5-degree angle even, so that the water, if it comes through your window down your wall, it will hit the window sill and slope back out of the house. But like if water gets in your walls or on your subfloor, it would, if it has nowhere to go and it doesn't have access to air, it won't dry, and then you could be working with rot. But for the most part, you'd be fine. Like if Lucy were to come in here and pee on my floor, it's like, Lucy, what the fuck? But
yeah, of course.
The only risk is like with water getting into wood. If you soak wood and then the weather changes, it's liable to shrink and expand. So my hardwood floor might get fucked up.
Yeah.
Because if water gets added to it and then it shrinks, you'd see a gap open up between two boards, kind of thing.
Makes sense. Okay.
So, don't let your dog just pee on the floor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Gotcha. Yeah.
But it's fine.
I've made a huge mistake. No.
Your house isn't going to fall down if a dog pees on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay, interesting. Crazy.
That's
good carpentry talk. Yeah.
Good carpentry.
Learned a lot today.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm still learning too.
You're the teacher today.
I'm still learning, dude. I'm gonna do more shit this coming week. That's gonna probably knock my socks off.
Oh, we like to keep those socks on.
Yeah, especially in construction. You don't want to be slipping.
No, not at heights, dude.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it now. Fuck, I don't want to go back to work, dude.
And what's your next crazy segue you got?
Speaking of not wanting to go to work on Monday, Elon Musk bought Twitter. It went through.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
He did buy Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it. I don't even know what to think about that whole ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I find funny is this is like the first billionaire to actually spend billions of dollars on something that's not just, I mean, it still is acquiring another company, but it's just like, that is kind of like,
But it's
people
also,
are always like, if I had $100 billion, I'd just buy something stupid. And that's what he did.
yeah.
Now, that money obviously probably could have went to better uses. But, I mean, again, I'm not too worried about Twitter one way or the other. I do find it funny how people are just like, I'm deleting my Twitter account. It's like,
Good, you should do that.
Should have already done that.
You should probably delete
yeah,
it.
Twitter has been like a cesspool for like minimum 5 years.
Every social media platform, regardless, is kind of a cesspool.
There's always there's always a bad area of a social media platform.
But no, that's
Shit sucks.
it's a bit of a shocker, yeah. And again, it's just like, you know, homie could have spent that money on like anything, you know, important or good. But
yeah, coulda, shoulda, didn't.
Yeah, exactly. It's also just funny too, because it's like when people talk about billionaire, like you know the billionaire dick riders out there, right? You see them and they're like, man, all that money's tied up in stocks. Like they don't actually have that much cash to access. And it's like Elon Musk just like fucking tanks the Tesla stock, fucking $44 billion into Twitter. It's like, oh, so they do have that money. They can't. It's like billionaire money only exists when they want it to, and then it's also not existing and non-taxable when they don't want it to. I don't understand that. I don't understand that concept.
It is bizarre.
But like Twitter stock, man.
My question is like, why buy Twitter to like? Because his idea is like freedom of speech deserves to be freedom, right? Like everything should be able to be said. I think that's what he's saying, at least, right?
But like what he's been saying, yeah.
Twitter is it's a big company. Everybody knows Twitter, but like, where does Twitter generate revenue? Like, is he gonna get 40 or however billion many dollars worth out of his purchase? You know what I mean? Is that really an asset that's gonna earn him?
I don't think so. No, and Twitter mainly generates revenue through advertising. That's about it.
And fucking ads, like.
It's
just the weird, like that feels like a waste of money.
But I imagine he can make the company go public again if he wanted.
Yeah.
And then he would get major money off the stocks on that.
Which is probably his plan to recuperate some of those losses, reinvest in Tesla so that doesn't tank and go under. But like it's the whole thing is just very silly. I just can't believe that it's like this is the world we're living in now.
Well, yeah, is this not like the first time something big like this has happened, like at all?
Yeah,
like there's been companies acquiring companies, right? Like Activision, Blizzard, that whole thing.
Of course, but it's not like Tesla bought Twitter.
Yeah,
you know what
Elon
I mean?
Musk. It is one monopoly man.
Yeah,
bought a whole company, even though he's already got his own. He's like, I'll just take this one too.
Well, it's funny.
We're getting to the monopoly part of life now,
of existence. His whole thing is though too. It's like he never even he didn't start Tesla. He invested in Tesla. You know what I mean? And he invested a lot in Tesla and like bought the company, right? Same thing like PayPal. Actually, I think PayPal maybe he worked at starting or bought in early on that. Either way. It's like all of the stuff that he's done, like when he bought Tesla, right? He had this like solar panel thing called Solar City, right? And it was like a solar panel company for like more affordable solar panels, right? He basically leveraged the stock in that, which was a publicly traded company, to then just sell off and buy into Tesla, right? And he did as a majority shareholder, right? And that's another thing that's happened before, right? People will buy in and become a majority shareholder, but nobody's ever just outright like, I'm buying this company. You know what I mean? But he did that, and then he like tanked the shit out of Solar City stock and just like fucked over like the couple thousand people that were invested in it. And it like never really recovered. So he's a great guy. Great guy.
Stock market shit, hey?
Yeah. It's something. Yeah. The imaginary money line.
It's so weird. I fucking hate money, dude. But like, speaking
makes
of, like, I'm kind of happy to have a job now because it's like I'm getting money. You know,
Money is
like work is always work, and I think especially with construction, that's no exception. I won't get back into that whole thing, but um, it's good to have an income flow. Like, I'm sure you guys know I stream on Twitch.
Yep, of course.
I feel a lot. I don't want to say a lot different about it now, but my outlook on streaming has already changed. Like in a good way. In a good way. Yeah. But now I'm a lot less stressed about it because, like, before Twitch was my job, I was like, the numbers that happen, you know, whatever my average viewer is for the day. Obviously, I'd still like to see it higher and improving because that's how you grow. And one day I'd love for it to be my job. But the fact of the matter is, at least right now, I know that I have an income flow. So regardless of how well my Twitch does, and obviously I need to be careful because, like, I care about my community that I have on Twitch, and I don't want it to just fucking simmer away because I have income flow now. So it doesn't matter. But like, I think I'm less stressed about whether I've got 25 viewers or 35 viewers at average on a stream. Again, 35 is what I would like instead of 25, but it doesn't so much matter anymore because like I can still pay my bills.
Yeah, it's less of a stress now, right?
Now it's a hobby that I want to pursue and don't need it to be amazingly successful to enjoy it.
No, exactly.
Because it's just that. Now I'm like, okay, great. I can pay my bills regardless of how well I do my hobby.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. That's kind of my thing with like music too. Like I fucking love playing music, love making music, but it's also just like wasn't making a fucking penny off that for like 2 years of doing it, right? So it's just like something I still do every day, but I also can pay my rent and buy groceries.
And that is kind of unfortunately where it had like it's shitty that your priorities can't just be having fun and pursuing a passion because like the world would probably be a better place.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But it's also, you know, you got to play the game.
No, and
if you can't beat them, join them. You got to play the game. I gotta have a roof. So I need to work.
Exactly. Yeah. Take that free time that you got and, you know, invest it in yourself and your hobbies or whatever, right? And the things you actually enjoy. And, yeah. No. That's the modern day morons lesson of the day for May. The lesson of May the lesson of the day for May.
May 1st, isn't it?
On that one.
May 1st.
Yeah. You will not be able to defeat society. Society always wins. So you either have to join it or cease to,
or be very successful in whatever the hell you're trying to do. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool to make money.
Yeah,
but also sucks. I'm not a fan of having to deal with the traffic of city traffic.
Yeah, it's not super fun. In fact, I'm probably either going to go gray or go bald due to dealing with city traffic.
You guys certainly know a lot about.
What? You can't just drop this at the end of the cast.
So I'm driving, like I'm done for the day. So I'm driving home. I'm on Joe Howe. I'm about to pass the superstore on Joe Howe Drive to get onto like the little turnpike, you know, that merges onto the Bedford Highway that will eventually go to the McKay Bridge. And as I'm driving up, and then I'm in like basically the center lane. There's 2 lanes going this way, 2 lanes going that way, and there's like double like a bus there, so I can't see anything on that. Some guy just runs across the street. Like, instead of just waiting, it was at an intersection, and instead of just waiting for the light to thin, he just runs across, but I don't see him till he's in my lane. And so I have to, like, slam on the brakes. I'm doing, like, 60. And I didn't even, like, honk the horn, because I still have never honked the horn at someone, because I'm always just, like, so shocked by their stupidity that I don't have a chance to, like, be angry. And once the anger sets in, they're already gone, so I just look like a jackass. Always, but, like, yeah, no, it's I almost just dummied some guy who just decided to like run across the street into traffic.
Yeah, I love when people do that. Isn't that awesome?
It's like, dude, some of the drivers, bro, it's like I don't know how they got a license.
I've had quite a few times where I've almost died, but I had one today. Just like I went to get groceries today, and I just had a really funny thing that happened at Superstore. I was in the parking lot, and I'm heading out. I'm making I'm going straight because I live like right next to the Superstore, so I go down this like weird second exit from the parking lot that goes like right up to my house, and I'm like sitting there, I'm waiting. There's this lady coming. She's making a left turn into the area of the parking lot that I'm in, the like lane that I'm in, and there's a guy to my left who is backing out of his spot, right? He's got his lights on. She makes the turn, and then, like, I guess she sees that his lights are on. He hasn't moved, by the way. He's had his foot on the brake the entire time. She sees that, and he's not moving because I'm there. I'm blocking his ability to even get out, right? She sees that he has his lights on as she's, like, most of the way through this turn, and just, like, stops in her tracks right in front of his backside of the car and just lays on the horn and just starts like shouting expletives that I can't hear, but I can only imagine it was expletives. And I just started like laughing my ass off. I was like, man, like someone's having a bad day. Holy shit. People are really funny. You put someone
we have really shitty drivers in our city.
Yeah. It's also
really shitty.
The amount of times people will just go when they do not have right away, and it's just like you have to work around them, bro. And then,
there's so many people that are like they're making like a left turn or a right turn onto a street that's full of traffic, and they just start going anyways. They're like, "I'm getting out here, and you are gonna have to work with that." It's so fucking annoying. So like I had some guy just on Friday. He just like starts making a left. There's cars coming this way. I'm in the traffic going this way. He starts making the left turn into my side of the road. We're like bumper to bumper, and there's cars coming. He creates a pile up because he's like, I'm taking a left now. It's just gonna happen. I'm like, what the fuck? And now we're expected to let you in because you're holding up their traffic.
Well,
it's so goofy.
Liam, do you remember the time that we were working together that day? This was when I was training you for work for that 1 week. And we were on Joe Howe at this time. Joe Howe was a fucking mess. We were on Joe Howe, and we were turning left, right, to go on the highway, I believe.
Yeah, we were on the way to Bayers.
And so then there's like a right turn lane, but it specifically has a yield sign. It's one of the only right turn lanes in the city that it isn't like a slight right into yield. It's like a hard right with a yield sign, right? One of the very few in the city. And anyway, so we have the left turning light and the green. Liam's right behind me. I go to start making my turn because the light went for us.
Oh, you're behind me.
Oh, I was behind you. Yeah. So Liam goes, and then there's nobody else coming. Or no, we didn't have the turn signal, did we? No, we had a green. And so there's a yield there. I've been on that path 1,000 times. I know there's a yield sign there, right? And anyway, so I'm going to Liam makes his turn totally fine and dandy. There's like a Mack truck coming down the road, but he's in the right lane. So I'm like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. I start making my turn like seconds after Liam, right? And just I'm like, that car's going a little fast. I hear brakes start screeching, and then and Liam calls me. And he's like, did that fucking Mack truck almost just hit you? I'm like, yeah, I think so.
Dude, it was chasing Braden down on the highway.
Yeah, I had to kick my car into sport mode and just go about 130 so I could get away from his like slow accelerating ass and take the turn take the exit that I needed at the exact moment that he was out of the view because he was just far enough behind a corner. Oh, it was something. Yeah,
I turn onto the ramp, and behind me, I just hear this truck going, and then Braden's behind me, and I see Braden speed past me into the left lane, and then I see this truck
also speed past in the left lane.
Start chasing Braden down. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was nuts.
But imagine you get pulled over there, and a cop's like, "Do you know how fast you're going?" You're like, "Yeah, 140, bro." He's like, "Why were you going so fast? Did you not see that fucking speed demon of an 18-wheeler, dude? Like, he was coming for me.
I was gonna die."
Like, what would the cops do? They'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's a good reason to go fast."
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It was something. Yeah, it was like literally a situation where I was like, I got to drive away because this guy's either gonna like hit me in the back or like follow me to my location and try and like beat the shit out of me and say words with me. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that.
His truck shotgun and fucking lay out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's some bad drivers, dude.
Driving wrong.
I hate our city's traffic. Yeah. I hate working in the South End.
Yeah, it's the South End specifically is like just a massive South End and North End, like near Windsor kind of area, are both just like so clearly areas that were built for like horse and carriage and have not been updated since they just got paved. Like it's a fucking mess.
I work in the South End and traffic's so annoying to get home every day.
Doesn't even make sense half the time the way things are laid out or done.
And I imagine you're driving the truck, right, in the city, and it's always fun.
Dude, there are some lanes I genuinely like. I had a fucking bus on either side of my truck, and I was like, I think if my mirrors weren't there, this truck, like the buses would be on my doors, dude. Like the mirrors of my truck was about how far away these buses were. I barely fit between these buses, and it's not like they were like being assholes boxing me in. Like that is how wide the 3 lanes are. I just barely was snug between two I was a sandwich, dude. I was a sandwich.
Yeah.
Between 2 buses. It was ridiculous. Like my truck is like fucking 12 feet wide. I can't fit down these roads.
Dude, when I was leaving, we had a little campfire at Hayden. Shout out Hayden. He's in Honduras.
Shout out.
Doing charity work because he's a better man than me. But as we were leaving the fire, I drove myself, so I left early because I'd worked in the morning, and I Austin powered myself because I like reversed in, and then I forgot Braden was parked right on the side of the street. So now I'm in between Braden and the curb, and I'm just going. It was like a 6-point turn to get out of there. Thank God there's no cars coming.
Nice. Yeah, I wish I could have come. I was just fucking exhausted. I spent the whole day setting up scaffolding at work and just lugging around steel for 8 hours.
That will get you.
Like,
That's fair.
I can't.
Hayden took some high calorie candy, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Calorie
it's
beans.
Pretty funny to watch. He clearly doesn't have that much of that candy very often.
You could tell. And then him and Tristan, I think Tristan's here. He'll be on next episode. But
of course, as always.
Just burning stuff, creating fire hazards. It was a solid time. I've said it many a time, but arsony is the crime to do.
And then I went home, and now I don't have a roommate anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note,
thank you guys so much for watching. Episode 44 has been a success. We appreciate all our viewers.
This is called Construction Chronicles. That's
Construction Chronicles. We are now going to be just me and Braden asking construction questions to Jacob.
We'll start with Bear of the Week. We'll do a little jingle. Liam will put up his beautiful graphic, and then construction for an hour.
Oh yeah, for anyone who missed the Bear of the Week graphic, there it is.
Incredible.
It's real good. It's real good.
If you missed the jingle, you can either check it on the VOD that will be uploaded tomorrow, or tune in next week for a new Bear of the Week. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
See y'all around. Take care, folks.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Don't give a care.
And tune in next time for our